All right, thank you for joining us. Today we're doing a Greek feast. It's not a cook-off, it's a little bit different. And I thought it would be fun to show how we do a Greek meal from the very beginning to the very end. The best part about Greek cooking is it's really a community thing. And the more people you have in the kitchen helping you, the more fun it is. And I think the food tastes better. And so I'll probably be calling people up, and my sous chef doesn't seem to be here yet. I might be calling up another sous chef that will help me, because it's really a fun thing. Every Greek does their own recipes their own way. And so as I start to do something, I know there are Greeks in the room, but they're going to go, oh, no, you don't do it that way. And that's because Greece is a lot of little tiny villages and surrounded by mountains. And each village considers themselves the true Greeks. And they're doing it correctly the right way. In fact, I found this great book called The Glorious Foods of Greece. And what it does, it tells you how to make the sweetbread 100 different ways depending on what part of Greece you're from. And when I married, my family's from Mytilene, and my husband's family is from Rhodes. And the Greeks separate themselves from the mountain people and the island people. So we were both islanders, but we made dishes differently. So my mother-in-law was not very happy the way I made my soup. She wasn't very happy with the way I made my pastries because she had to correct me. So you will see different things being done today. But of course, adding to that ethnic culture differences is that I'm half Scotch-Irish. So my mother always added her little bits to the food. And so like up here, I did a Nana's pilaf, which was the Irish version of Greek pilaf. And so you'll see I'll do my own little twists for things. All Greek cooking, in my opinion, goes back to the true farm to table. It's the fresh foods that really matter. It's not the large different spices that you use and the complications of the dishes. It's the simplicity of the dishes. And I cook village cooking, it's called, choriatiki. And that's what my husband's happy with. But I do a little bit of Irish differences. So you always have to have the olive oil. And I love mayonnaise. He's not paying me to say this. The Greeks are so serious about their olive oil, they bring it back from the village in big tankers. And there's always trouble at customs because they know the yayas are bringing in food. And so, but this is as close as I get to the Mytilene olive oil, and I love that. You always have to have lemons. You always have to have garlic. And as I said, something fresh. And then dried oregano. Again, that's something we bring from our villages. This is not my Mytilene. My family's from Eroso in Mytilene. And, but so I could see it's not quite the same. My daughter's in-laws brought theirs from their village, and it's still not the same. But I like the dried, not the fresh. A lot of cooks say you need fresh. That's not the way I was doing it. And for the Irish side of me, I throw butter in things. It gives that other little taste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step you through a Greek meal that really isn't that complicated. And the more times you do it, the easier it is. But remember, it's not perfection. The lamb's never going to be perfect. The potatoes aren't going to be perfect. But the day you do get the really good Greek potatoes, they'll talk about it for years because you really got it done. The thing I've discovered is that you sort of do the meal backwards, because I'm a one-oven woman, and so you sometimes have to make your dishes ahead of time. So what I do is I'll make the spinach pie a day ahead of time. The Greek potatoes will be done before I even start my roast. And so the way I'll show it to you is the way it's easy to show during a demonstration, but that doesn't mean that's the way I did it. Another secret is that I don't make the spinach pie. The truth is, nowadays, modern Greek housewife, Costco makes wonderful little spinach pies, and so I'll often pick those up. But it's a thing that the grandkids like to play with the dough, and if you really want to have fun with it, you can do it. But the tzatziki at Costco is fabulous, the spanakopita is fabulous, and today you're going to be eating St. Luke's Festival spanakopita. So that's, I'll show you how to play with the dough, work with the dough, but that's the demonstration, as I just picked up theirs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do a Greek potato. And the easiest way to do it is if you get the big, long potatoes. Now, when I did mine just now, I got the 5-pound potatoes and I chopped it up. But if you want to get the long spears, that's great. You don't cook your potatoes with your lamb, because lamb's very, very greasy. And then you're going to have this overpowering taste of lamb in your potatoes. What people love about a Greek potato is it's crispy. It's got a lemon taste and the kosher salt. the little bit of that. What I do is we have a family tradition. Christmas Eve, we're still not eating meat, so we will make a Greek potato, which is with the lemon and the olive oil in the oven, and they roast it, and the kids love just eating those. So if you get a really good one going, it's fun. The kids love eating them. They're warm and crunchy. So first we need to, let's see, you peel the potatoes. And I'm looking for a sous chef. Deborah, would you like to come up and help peel my potatoes?
Peel potatoes.
Okay, this is Deborah Borowski. Boronsky, I'm sorry. She's running for state senate and has come to visit us.
Very good. I'll wash my hands.
Oh, okay, well, we also have gloves. We have gloves right here.
Thank you.
Yes. So while you're peeling the potato, I'm going to show them how I prepare the pan.
This is not a prerequisite. Just a second.
This pan looks really messy, but what happens is if you fry pan, you're roasting your vegetables in a lot. I find the oil sort of seeps into the material. It gives it a better feeling. And so this is a really heavy cookie sheet shallow. And what I do is I prepare the pan by putting a little bit of butter in the pan and garlic. So we, yes, here you go.
I'll get out of your way.
Thank you. And so let's see, where's my knife? So I put a little bit of butter in the pan. I put a little bit of garlic in the pan, not a lot, because the kids don't like a lot of garlic, but it gives a little bit of flavor to it. And I've given her, now here's my, and that's where I put my butter in. So I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in. And again, the fresher your garlic you have, the better you are. Unfortunately, it seems that garlic for me always rots in the basket by the time I get to it. And so I know a lot of Greeks do use the pre-cut garlic you can get in the store. But all you want this is for a little bit of flavor to the olive oil.
How do you do?
Oh, you're doing a great job. Thank you. So you put a little bit of your olive oil in the pan. And again, you don't worry about being too stingy with it. Then I put in a little bit of butter. And then I'll be chopping up, Deborah's just chopping up one. I'd chop up like 5 pounds of potatoes because the kids love potatoes. And then I would put this all in the oven for 450, warm up that pan. And I've already got stuff in here, so I'll just stick this in here. Get it out of the way. Then thank you, perfect timing. Then you take the potato and you're gonna cut it in half. And spears, you get it in spears. And the reason you want it in spears is to help get that crunch around all of it. Then I take a bowl, and in the bowl, I put the potatoes. I put, again, a little bit of olive oil. I put in a little lemon. And of course, you probably want to use your squeezer so you don't get the, so I'll be using 2 lemons for 5 pounds of potatoes. And then I'll just do that for now. Then you just mix it up so that it really gets that lemon, that oil all over the potato. Then you're going to put it back into your, I'm going to burn myself. Back into your pan where by then, hopefully the butter has been melted. You sort of put them around here and you're going to have to keep stirring them up so the butter, the garlic, everything gets into that. And then you're going to keep checking them to turn them over and get them crispy. So let me put this. The one thing I don't think we counted on was enough counter space. Then when you're this is the potato you're going to have. And these aren't as crispy as I usually like them. So your potatoes come out, and when your potatoes come out, that's when you put your salt on, okay? So because hopefully they're a little juicy, they're moist, you put a little bit of salt on them, and then you're going to spread them out and serve them with the meat. By not putting them in with the meat, you keep down the grease level, that greasy fattiness of the lamb.
What temperature is the oven?
The oven's very hot, 450, because you're basically roasting the potatoes. And sometimes you'll get them and they'll be that wonderful little lemon bite to them. Sometimes they don't. What I do like to use is Yukon Golds. These are not Yukon Golds. So I'm not promising these are really great potatoes. But again, you never know when it's going to pop up a really great potato. So those are the potatoes. You can put these away in the oven, the refrigerator, prepare them the night before and reheat them. Because you're getting them crispy, they're still always going to be really good. We'll put these out for serving a little bit later. And now I'm going to show you how to do the lamb. And we will finish with the last two dishes that are easy. The lamb, I went to Arnold's, and they have these big leg lambs. Do not be intimidated by them. Go in, I asked them to cut that big leg of lamb in half. And they trim it. I thought they took a little too much fat off, but they trim it. And then I could have actually 2 leg of lamb dinners. One can pop in the freezer. But I kept this to demonstrate what I'm going to do with this lamb. So again, it's a cookie sheet or a very, very shallow pan. These get very smoky. You watch your smoke alarms. They're really going to go off. Because what you're going to do is on top of this fatty lamb, you're going to put more olive oil. And you're going to have squeezed lemon. Some people take the olive oil, they put it in a little dish with the lemon, and they beat it, beat it, beat it. I'm just a lazy cook, so I squeeze lemon right on my lamb. And my sous chef is here. Hi. Yes, I nailed you right as soon as you came. Thank you, Deborah. Okay.
I used to walk through, I remember as a very young person walking through the hills, interestingly enough, in Rome, Italy, and smelling this cooking. And it was just amazing. I never forgot it with the, do you put rosemary on it too?
No, I'm very simple. I'm a simple, I've already explained to him, a simple peasant Greek.
Oh, no.
Oregano, dried oregano, that's it. Yeah, that's interesting about Italy. You'll find pockets of villages that only speak Greek. Because there are Greeks there, especially around Sicily. And from, you've always heard about the ancient Greeks going to Sicily, and they're still there. Once Greeks move in, you can't get them out. They're to stay.
There goes the neighborhood. I was actually traveled with St. Cecilia's Church and went to Italy with Father Joe. Well, a number of priests went actually. And we went very south into Sicily, and it was very, very hot. It was over 100 degrees. It was an unusually warm day. And we actually co-celebrated Mass in the very tip of Sicily in a Greek Orthodox Catholic church where they had been co-celebrating Mass for hundreds and hundreds of years. And my mother was Catholic and my father Greek Orthodox. So for me it was, kind of neat to blend those two things.
And we have a lot in common. My mother was Irish. Your mother was Irish.
Right.
Our fathers were Greek from Mytilene, the same island.
And Antes Mytilene, our fathers came from.
And
but she learned to cook it for some reason, and we're not sure what I learned. But
so what we're doing is we're cutting into the lamb. I made slivers of the garlic, and I put the garlic in, okay? And so you do that all around the lamb. You're going to really get into it. You rub the lamb with the olive oil. We tend to baste with the lemon. I put a little lemon now, but whenever I open the oven to check it, I throw more lemon on and more lemon on. I do not put the oregano on till near the end because I feel it burns. So let me wash my hands well. I'll be right
Don't
back.
rub it the wrong way or it won't vote for you. Very important to know about lamb and everything else. Deb says, oh my God, she didn't say that. Yeah. My husband is so excited about the prospect of getting anything cooked tonight. He's praying. He loves Marie. Art Wolf, my husband, is a professor at Western New England University School of Law for more than 30 years, and Marie was one of his students. So, and we're very good friends. And when I told him I'm going to cook with Marie, he says, oh, give my love to Marie, and please see if she'll send you home with any leftovers. It's his only shot. It's his only shot. Otherwise, it's leftover Chinese food. So.
Yes, my husband feels the same way because he's going to walk into a house that smells like roasted lamb, but
Oh.
there will be no roasted lamb.
My
It walked out the door with me.
Oh my goodness.
So what I do is I put kosher salt on the lamb. I'll grind fresh pepper, and then it's going to go into a very hot oven, like 475, until it starts to crisp up, and then you're going to slow it down to like 350, 300, depending on your oven. My oven's just a terrible oven, but they really should be more like a 250 oven in order to slowly cook in its own juices. Yeah, that's the finished product. Now, again, I had to cook the lamb ahead of time. I hate dried lamb, so I apologize if that lamb gets a little dry. So this is the lamb. It's ready to go. There's very little you have to do with it. The best lamb, in my opinion, is right off the grill. If you have a rotisserie, stick this in a rotisserie. Just be careful of the fire because it's going to shoot up all the time. Or do the lamb chops right on the grill with the lemon and olive oil and oregano and just eat it right off the grill. But that's eating it fresh.
I'll
is the
show you
best.
my part.
There we go.
You remember Queen for a Day? You have won this wonderful oven. Should I just close it?
Yeah,
or?
we'll just close it.
All right.
And then I'm going to pull the lamb out, take it over here, and I was looking for a lamb slicer, and I guess our town manager snuck out. I was going to put Stephen to work.
Well, what exactly needs to happen here?
Okay. This is the lamb that I cooked earlier.
Oh my God, you're going to want this.
Okay.
And this, the green,
You better put your gloves back on. That's a very good slicer.
Oh, you are a good slicer? Okay. So what I was...
See how precise that bread is?
What I'm going to do is small slices of lamb, little bite-sized pieces, because we're not giving out nice, and then also they won't dry out as much. If you find, let's say you've cut down 2 inches and it's starting to get a little red, then, and you don't like a rare lamb, you can take it, like I have a little bit of the broth here that would come right off it. You can just sort of put it on top of the stove for like 30 seconds. And then it's ready to serve. And so you don't have to worry about that too much. So I'm going to put this over
This
here.
is
Do you wanna
beautiful.
get the gloves back on, Sonia?
Oh, I don't know.
No, you don't know?
I'll try if you have
You want to try
gloves.
it? Okay,
Sure.
yeah. All right, and I'll show you the next thing that I'm going to do, which is the easy part, and then I'll end with the really difficult, which is the phyllo dough.
This is absolutely beautiful. This is just, if you were going to have dinner guests, you'd be very, very proud to have this on your table and serve this to your guests.
What I love best about Greek cooking, though, are the meatless dishes. They have tremendous amount of vegetarian dishes that are fabulous. I went to Greece in March, which was before Easter, and they said, well, we're fasting, we can't give you much to eat, and there was like 25 vegetarian dishes on the table that were unbelievable. So, and it's because the vegetables are so fresh. But I think also they don't put a lot on it. So I have, of course, we've really enjoyed our farmer's market here in Longmeadow, so I have some of these tomatoes, but in the winter you can't get a great fresh tasting tomato. I usually, I'm going to say it wrong, Capriani's? Camparis, yes, Camparis. So I will buy some Camparis because you're not going to put a lot, it's just going to be that little Greek salad. So I will use a lot of those. But I love my vegetables. So what I do is I don't do a lot with the salad. You get a good tomato, don't doctor it up. So what I did is you just cut up the tomatoes, and I'm going to put it directly inside the salad bowl. and it's just bite-sized pieces. So I'll do the other one here too.
Did you want me to do all of this?
Oh yeah, let's get it all out there. And the bone you can use the next day for soup. I love putting my bones inside my slow cooker. And also you can use that broth to make orzo with, and a little bit of that. So orzo and lamb is a very popular dish for the Greeks too. So I love a great tomato salad. So you just put the tomatoes in there, they're fresh. You then get the feta cheese. The one I like is really the one you get at Costco that has the broth in with it, but it's hard to find. So what I do is, this I just got from Big Y.
Oh, you add the milk.
You add milk to yours?
Well, my father always did. I did not.
Yeah,
do
I
much of
don't, because
anything.
it doesn't last in the house that long. Once we open a thing of feta, everyone wants to eat it. Put it on our eggs, we put it on our vegetable stews. I get greens, I cook up greens, and then I'll put a little feta and tomato and olive oil on it. So you put a little feta cheese in there. I like red onion with mine. Sometimes I'll get the pickled cucumbers in the summer and I'll put that with it. But you want to do the salad just before serving. You don't want it to be sitting over there getting soggy. So you get a little bit of red onion in there.
This is starting to fight back, Marie.
That's why everyone said they were going to
pink.
let you do it.
It's a little pink.
Well, they'll go on the other side and see what we can find over there. Or flip it over.
I'm going to flip it over.
I'll be here to help you in a minute.
No, I'm okay, I'm okay.
And then all I do is I take my mayonnaise olive oil, because you're going to taste the flavor of the oil. And if you don't get a good oil, they sometimes are bitter.
And people love this oil. In the Senate, we exchange gifts at holiday time. There's only 40 of us. And I gave each of my Senate colleagues one of the small things of the mayonnaise olive oil. And let me tell you, it was an enormous hit. And Transportation Secretary Richard Davey, who's leaving now, loves it, absolutely loved it. And I promised him another jar of it.
So
Hey, whatever works, right, for the district?
there it is. It's just olive oil, and you see that nice color to it. And the more it sits there and it marinates, the better it tastes. My husband loves to take the bread and mop up that oil. And just one other thing is, keep my tomatoes room temperature. A cold tomato loses some of its flavor.
Yeah.
Yes?
Put no vinegar, whatever?
No what?
No vinegar?
No, no. My mother loved a lot of vinegar on stuff, but no, this is just the olive oil, the salt. It brings out the flavor of the tomatoes. And this is, everything I'm showing you, we do on every vegetable. When I make kale, I make the greens, I love the Swiss chard, everything. It's just a little olive oil, a little feta. Some people put lemon on it. I don't, because I feel it just covers up that beautiful tomato taste. In the winter, maybe. The Greeks say that too when they come over here, and I had someone tell me this from Somalia. They said, you know what, I love everything about the United States, but the food doesn't taste the same. And it's really hard to get a real strong, good flavor of vegetables. That's why I love the farmer's market and now Costco. You really have to smell to see, does it smell like a tomato? And so that's how simple the salad is. Greeks have a lot of hors d'oeuvres. We call them meze. And this is a very popular thing. Just have the tomato, a little bit of olive oil, or even just put the feta with a little olive oil and oregano on top. So again, just a few ingredients, and it goes a long way in different dishes. Okay, you want me to try to help you here?
I'm afraid that the next thing that's going to happen here is this plate is going to go.
And it will be on air.
And
That will be so
we're going to have a
exciting.
lot of people wearing lamb.
Well, I told him to sit in the front. He could catch the lamb, right? Here, let me use the sharper knife. I have given you a bad tool there, and I'll see if I can pull a little
No
bit out.
comment.
Yeah, see, now we're looking. Oh, now that Stephen sees the work's over, he said he's going to sneak in.
Thank you, Town Administrator Crane.
All right, I'm going to set Gail up to start working with the phyllo dough, and I'll keep working on this. And
Gail has never worked with phyllo dough in the, just so we know here.
well, I'm going to tell you, I don't like using phyllo dough because I'm a lazy cook, and I just explained to them, I go to Costco and I buy it, okay? But
Okay.
phyllo dough is so popular in Greece, they will wrap everything in phyllo dough. You, instead of getting a hot dog in the street, you get phyllo dough with chicken inside, phyllo dough with this inside, everything's inside phyllo dough. And so it's their form of a sandwich. And so once you feel comfortable working the phyllo dough, you can have fun with it. The trick with good phyllo dough is you've got to buy it fresh. And so what they do is we buy it from Milano's. And of course, when I say we, I mean the really good Greek cooks at St. Luke's. If you buy it from Big Y and you get it in the freezer, you want to make sure it's fresh. How do you know if your phyllo dough is fresh? When you put it in the refrigerator overnight from the freezer, and you open it up and it doesn't appear to be crumbling on you. Then you've got good fresh dough. But if it crumbles on you, it's still salvageable, but you also can return it and say, listen, your dough's stale, give me my money back, I want a fresh batch. Let me move things out of the way.
And it would be really hard to work with if it were crumbling, I'm imagining.
Oh, very hard to work with. You have to use a lot of butter then. The more butter, because it's older dough, and you can patchwork it, which is fine. You can patchwork your dough. It's never perfect, and that's not. Now, this is a good phyllo dough, and I know because it came from my girlfriend who's a gourmet cook. So she always has good ingredients. Now, to keep your dough workable while you're sitting here,
right over here.
okay, is you need to have a wet cloth over it. People put clean towels. I had gotten a napkin.
It is under for your potatoes.
Oh.
Under your potatoes over here.
Oh, thank you. I would have wandered for a while. Okay. So I wet this, and you put it over your dough.
Remember
Now-
how we used to do ironing? Used to wet it up and put it in the refrigerator? When I was a
Yes.
kid, we used to iron.
You have to keep working your dough, and you're going to get called away, kids. You just start talking to your friends. You have a second glass of wine, and you say, oh my gosh, I left the dough out. Okay, it doesn't matter, because Greek cooking is very casual, very chaotic over a period of time. So you go back, and what you're going to do is you're going to, there's different ways of making your dough, using your dough. And I'm sure you've seen it. Okay, so this was already moist, so me throwing this on top did not help matters. This is where things can go very wrong for me right now. But you lift the layer up, and you put it here on your working space, and then you're going to butter it. And I got a special.
Here, this is the...
Yes, but my brush is here somewhere. Here it is. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your little bit of butter, you're going to go it on here. Okay, now let's say you've decided you're going to make triangles. What you're going to do is you're going to cut your dough in half. And again, it's breaking.
And we're cutting
that's
it the
fine.
long ways, because I would have probably cut it the other way to make a triangle.
So let me say, let's just use an example. We're going to put this in here as your filling. You make lamb filling. You can put spices in. This will be your hors d'oeuvre. You roll it into a triangle. You keep rolling down. You roll it over and to keep the form of the triangle. And you keep going down. You do that all the way till you've reached the end. Then, in order to clean it up, you can fix your triangle with more butter. It's like your glue. Then you're going to put it on your cookie sheet, and that's what you're going to cook. Now, my girlfriend just told me one of the things she does, rather than the triangles, is she will take a sheet, and she will put the filling this way, roll it up, and then afterwards cut it into like little spirals. And she says that's a fun hors d'oeuvre, okay? For me, whenever I'm going to do it, I'm into fast and easy, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to butter it, I'm going to put it in my pan. I take the next sheet, I butter it, I put it in the pan. Every time you're going to put a sheet in, you butter it. You put it in the pan and you say, oh, it broke. That's right, add a little more butter where it broke. Smash it together, it's all going to melt together. You keep doing layers and layers and layers. Now, if it was a pastry, you'd then put your chopped up nuts in there. But what we're going to do is we're going to put our spinach stuff in here. So once you have your pan, you've built it up almost like a lasagna.
How many layers are you doing
As
before you put your filling?
That's up to you. I will do only 5 or 6, okay? Some people will do multiple. And that's what's nice about a spinach pie or the filling. You could do anything you want with it. You can have more on top, you can have less on top. So whenever you go to taste someone's spinach pie, it always tastes different. And what makes a difference on what it's going to taste like is what comes out in here. So, Gail, we're going to show you what can go into the spinach dip. And the first thing we have is the spinach. So you want to open that and put that in, just frozen chopped spinach. Some people use fresh. I would not do that because it can get very watery. So what I would do is, very smart. What I would do is I would squeeze and drain this, squeeze it out over the sink, then you just throw that in here, and then you're going to add your ricotta.
Do you want to put a couple of paper towels in here and then we'll wring it?
We could do that too. That will work.
But this is, well, no,
Is
it's
it
not.
still frozen?
No, we're going to be okay.
Here we go.
Just put the paper towel. Oh,
That's all right.
sorry about that.
Then we put the
Who's
ricotta.
ever cleaning this room, we apologize in advance.
What do you mean, whoever? It's us.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Don't we have people for that?
No.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. I thought we had people for that. Okay, I can do this.
So then we're going to put ricotta cheese, and then you're probably pronouncing it. Is it ricotta, ricotta? I'm terrible with
Rigot.
words.
Rigot.
And then you're going to put the crumbled feta cheese in.
This is great because I've never had a chance to do this or watch somebody do it.
Eggs. You're going to put an egg in there because it's going to help hold your insides together. Then you're going to put, I like using chopped onions. Some people just like using a yellow onion. Then I use flat parsley. That's going to give you a bit of your spice. And my husband doesn't like this, but I love his sister-in-law's spanakopita that uses dill. Okay, so I love a little dill in there. Now I have seen people, everyone do your own thing. Just have fun with it. Throw something in there, a little white wine, a little ouzo. Just do whatever you want, taste it, feel it. If you like something cheesier, I'm not a big fan of ricotta. I love feta, so I'll throw more feta in.
I've never seen ricotta in, or rigot in
Some people even use
spanakopita.
cottage cheese.
In spanakopita?
Yeah, in order to save money,
Really?
you're not going to taste it too much. You're tasting the feta, so they'll do that. So whatever your personal tastes are, you can throw that in. But as I said, once you start feeling comfortable using this, what I said, you're going to build up layers of 6 or 7, then throw hamburger meat in there. Spice hamburger meat. The Greeks spice it with cinnamon. Throw leftover chicken in there. It's almost our form of a burrito. Any leftovers you can put inside the phyllo dough, and then when they cut into it, they say, oh, wow, this is great. And they didn't realize they're eating leftovers from a couple days ago. Any questions on how to put together a Greek feast? No? No.
Yay, Marie.
Thank you. Now I'm going to put out the spinach pies, and we'll put out a little bit more of the, thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to
Thank
be
you,
putting,
Marie. You're amazing.
No,
You are
it's
amazing.
fun. We're going to also post on the COA website the recipes, and any questions, you can contact me at mangelides@longmeadow.org, and I'll try to answer your questions, but I'm not a professional cook. I'm a village cook.